Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another RWBY reaction, man. We're finally going to get to the World of Remnant videos for Volume 3. We have 3 of them left. Huntsman, some other system, and the Maidens. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Get straight into Huntsman. No more spoilers for me, so these are going to be good. And let's go. Start with Huntsman first. Alright. RWBY WoR Remnant. Huntsman. I'll be taking some notes,
Huntsmen
bro.
And huntresses, the best and brightest warriors of Remnant, ranking higher than Kingdom Police and even military in terms of strength and skill. The occupation was established alongside the Huntsman academies after the Great War, with the hope of creating elite warriors whose sole purpose would be to combat the creatures of Grim. Beacon Academy was founded in Vale, Haven founded in Mistral, Shade founded in Vacuo, and Atlas founded in the now defunct Kingdom of Mantle. These institutions accepted graduates of primary combat schools who showed enough promise and tenacity to not only battle the world's deadliest creatures, but also protect their fellow man. For this reason, trainees are grouped into teams,
Team RWBY,
ensuring the continual development of communication, empathy, and teamwork, traits that are vital to any guardian of peace. As an additional precaution to maintaining peace, the founders of the academies believe that their graduates should be kept separate from Kingdom allegiance. Once finished with their training, huntsmen and huntresses are free to choose who they work for, as well as what kind of work they will do through the use of mission boards. Allying with a particular kingdom or village is entirely up to the individual. However, Atlas Academy has come under increasing amounts of scrutiny for the indoctrination of military lifestyle upon its students, pressuring them to enlist in the Atlas military's Special Operatives Unit. Every academy has its own methods of teaching.
who was that in
The
white?
result is the same. Huntsmen and huntresses ready to make their own paths. Some will stay together as a team, some will move on to work alone. But all are expected to serve humanity and never succumb to the darkness.
Alright, that's it. So that's the first one right there, Huntsman. Cool little information. Obviously, I think we know most of that already from viewing the first first 3 volumes, obviously. But the most important thing right there is that they're free to choose who they work for, which is an interesting tactic that they have for all 4 kingdoms, except obviously for the one in Atlas, because there's a military rule there, and they encourage them to go and apply and become part of the special unit. But that's super interesting. They're able to choose who they want to work for and what type of work they want to do through a little dashboard, I guess. A little computer system where they just choose what type of line of work they want to do, what missions to take, I guess. Kind of like in Star Wars, if you've ever seen Star Wars, the bounty hunters are able to choose what bounty they want to take, what job they want to take. And yeah, super interesting. Cool little thing. The protectors of all the 4 kingdoms, and that they're the most strongest. Not even the army or anybody else is above them, except for the 4 headmasters, who are all kept in secret, but they're the most powerful, not the huntresses and the huntsmen. So yeah, let's get on with the next one. Go to RWBY Volume 3, World of Remnant, Cross-Continental Transmit System. See what we get here.
Throughout the years, the world of Remnant has seen hundreds of technological advances that have changed society. The most influential of all of them being the Cross-Continental Transmit System. Prior to the invention of the CCTS, long-range communication was extremely limited. The discovery and development of radio technology allowed for communication within the boundaries of most kingdoms. But communication with other parts of the world was restricted to the physical delivery of messages. With every alternative form of communication that was proposed, there seemed to be the perfect obstacle. The destructive nature of the creatures of Grimm severely limited the reliability of ground-based technologies. The concept of relay satellites orbiting around the planet was promising. Unfortunately, modern man has yet to make the technological advancements required to achieve spaceflight, as all known dust types lose their power as they begin to leave Remnant's atmosphere. Eventually, it was the people of Atlas, the world's leader in science and technology, that developed the cross-continental transmit system. It was revolutionary. Like radio, signals were sent and received wirelessly, though the content of these transmissions were not nearly as limited. Audio, video, images, and text were all capable of transmission, and eventually an entire online web of information was at mankind's fingertips. Currently, the system is supported by 4 primary relay towers, each located within a safeguarded area of the kingdoms. These towers allow for wireless communication within a kingdom through the use of devices such as scrolls. Signals become less reliable the farther a user travels from the CCT tower. And although smaller support towers do exist outside of kingdoms, they are constantly at risk of destruction by the creatures of Grimm. Shortcomings aside, for the first time in history, digital transmissions between kingdoms were possible through the use of slightly more advanced devices, typically found in homes and CCT centers. The cross-continental transmit system has and will continue to advance the progression of mankind. However, if one of the 4 towers is taken offline, the entire network fails with it. A slight inconvenience during routine maintenance, but to be honest, I find the limitation somewhat poetic. No one voice is louder than the others, and no voice may be silenced without the rest. If the people of Remnant are to speak, then they shall do so together. Or not at all.
Okay. Okay, Ospen, I see you. Alright, so this one's definitely interesting. Also, cross-continental transmit system, the CCTS as they referred to it. Obviously just radio technology communication device that all the 4 kingdoms of Remnant have now. They didn't have it before. You know, just like we did back in the 1700s, 1800s. It was all through the ground, through horses and all that stuff. And now you have this electrical radio tech, radio waves that you're able to transmit information from one kingdom to another. Space flight isn't possible. That's pretty interesting that through all this technology that we've seen so far, that they're not able to create space type technology because the dust can't be used outside of Remnant, is what they said. So that's pretty interesting as well. The dust only works within the realm of Remnant, which is interesting, right? Because I mean, like I said, space flight is impossible, but we saw Yang's mom, I don't know what her name is. I think somebody mentioned Raven or something. But she used a portal. So that's kind of like space travel if you want to think about it that way. And also there's 4 relay towers in each kingdom within Remnant. And you're able to use the common communication through scrolls, which is obviously the phone type thing. And if one of the 4 get taken down, then they all fall down, which doesn't really make sense, right? I mean, I understand what he's trying to say. If one voice is taken out, then they're all taken out. Not one is favored over the other. But I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to use later on in this battle or whatever, whenever it happens. Whenever something else bigger happens. If one gets, they're going to take down a communication tower. That way none of the 4 main kingdoms are able to communicate with one another. So yeah, pretty useful information. And now we move on to the last one, the 4 Maidens, which is the one I'm most interested in. Damn, this is long. 7-minute video. World of Remnant. The 4 Maidens. Alright, let's see. Because obviously we got the story
Deep
from Ospen.
in the forests of Remnant, beside a great and mighty river, stood the small, fragile home of a cold, frail man. A lone wizard. Hidden from the dangers and distractions of the world, the wizard
Also, he's a
seldom
wizard.
had visitors. But on this day, as he peered out his window, his gaze fell upon a young maiden. Calmly she sat beneath his tree, in a state of absolute tranquility. When the wizard demanded an explanation, the maiden simply replied, "My name is Winter. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sisters." With that, she closed her eyes and sat in silence. The wizard told himself the girl was a fool, but the longer she sat, the more he wished to share in the serenity the young maiden enjoyed. In time, he grew tired and decided to close his eyes as well, thinking on this strange predicament. Upon opening his eyes, the wizard was befuddled to find that a second maiden had appeared beneath his tree, cheerful and spry, with a basket of fruit and flowers. When he asked for an explanation, the girl simply replied, "My name is Spring. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sisters." To show her gratitude for his reluctant hospitality, the girl retrieved a handful of seeds from her basket and planted them in the wizard's garden.
That's pretty cool. A more deep, insightful story than the one we got from Pyrrha.
The old hermit could hardly believe his eyes as the maiden turned what was once a mere pile of dirt and manure into a beautiful garden from which life would surely blossom. It's likely he would have gazed for hours, were it not for the unfamiliar laughter he heard from beneath his tree. A young woman with a warm smile now stood beside the two maidens. The wizard begged her to introduce herself, to which she happily responded, "My name is Summer. I am on a journey, and I am waiting for my sister." Of course, thought the wizard. But another chirp of laughter left the old man perplexed. What in the world was so funny? As it turned out, it was him. The new arrival found the wizard's insistence on staying indoors so very amusing. Why choose to view the world through a small window when the door leading out to it was right at his side? It was a compelling argument, and after only a moment of brief hesitation, the wizard left his home and stepped outside. The warmth of the sun brought
Bam!
with it a
Go
surge of
experience the
energy
world,
and
bro.
life. And soon the wizard wasn't feeling much like himself anymore. He was feeling much better. As the day drew to a close, the maidens and the wizard all settled down and prepared a feast. Winter set the table. Spring supplied the crops. Summer prepped the meal, and the wizard was the happiest he'd been in ages. But in all the excitement, he nearly failed to notice the delicate woman that now stood beneath his tree. He smiled and beckoned her to join them, asking only for her name. "My name is Fall," she replied softly. "I am on a journey and am here to meet my sisters. Who are you?" "Me?" the wizard wondered. "Well, I am but an old hermit. I have lived in these woods alone for centuries, and I'm afraid my story is not very interesting, as I have no one to love and nothing to my name." The eldest sister looked up at all that surrounded them. "But sir, do you not see? You have so much." It was true. With
Gotta
their
open his
help,
eyes to the
it was now
possibilities.
clear to see that the wizard had everything he could ever need. He was grateful, but a question lingered in his mind. "Why me?" he asked. "Why did the four of you choose to open my eyes, to share with me your gifts? Why am I so special?" The four sisters looked to one another, perplexed. Finally, the eldest spoke. "I beg your pardon, sir, but we did not do these things for you because you were special. We do what we can for everyone, because we are able." The old wizard was at a loss. Never in his years had he come across such kindness. It was in that moment that he knew what should be done. The wizard summoned his magic, every ounce he could muster, and bestowed it upon the sisters. He smiled. Take this gift, and know now that you are able to do so much more. Now, armed with the elements, the very powers of nature, and the unimaginable magic of the wizard, the four maidens, winter, spring, summer, and fall, promised to carry onward with their journey, using their gifts to aid others, just as they had aided him. One by one, the sisters left. Before they did, they made one final promise. They promised to return each and every year to visit their dear friend.
Okay. Nice little story, Ospen. That's it. Yep, alright. Well, holy shit. Well, this is a definitely interesting one. The four maidens. Obviously, we meet this little fragile old man who's not just an old man, he's a wizard. I'm guessing a super powerful wizard because he's been alive for centuries, he said. And we never got his name, but we met the four maidens. The first one was the tranquil one, Winter, the maiden of serenity. Met the second one, which is cheerful, sprightful, Spring. Then we got Summer and Fall. Summer, the one telling the old man to go out, experience the world, get out of your house. And then Fall comes along. And, you know, the old man's astonished, shocked a little bit that there's these four sisters who just show up out of nowhere and they do so many nice things for him, and he expects them to be doing it for some other reason, you know, because he's special or something, or because he deserves it. But no, the sisters tell him that basically, no, we do nice things because we can and because we want to. We want to help everybody, and because of that, that opens up his mind, and, you know, he realizes that they're young and they're vibrant, and that they could go and help a lot of people all over the world of Remnant, and decides to give them his power, his magical power that he has inside, bestows it upon all the four maidens, winter, fall, spring, and summer. And what we learn from that, obviously we've already seen it with Autumn or Amber, whatever you want to call her, the fall maiden, is that they're able to use the elements. So they're kind of like the Avatar. If you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, they're able to use the elements to their for power, and they also have magic. So that's interesting as well. They're able to use magic and the elements, and they didn't mention it here, but they're able to use all of this stuff without the use of dust. So that's super interesting as well. And yeah, man, super cool, interesting World of Remnants. 3 videos today. We got what did we get? We got 4 maidens, the cross-continental transmit system, and Huntsman. Super cool little introduction to all of them. Some cool, useful information. And yeah, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be blazing through these RWBY reactions. And yeah, comment, like, share, and always. And I'll see you guys next time.